Cozy Coven, and welcome to the October predictions readings. If you guys know how these work, go ahead and just go to the timestamps listed below or in the comment section. This is going to be group 1, group 2, group 3, and group 4. So basically, if you don't know how these work, let me go ahead and explain a little bit for you. So basically with group 1, 2, 3, and 4, you pause this video for a moment, meditate on the cards, or maybe if you're drawn to a certain crystal, you can pick that. There's a different crystal on each one, or you have a lucky number that's 1 through 4. You want to go ahead and select what your intuition tells you. Really take your time with this so that you get the message that is made for you or that speaks to you. Sometimes people pick multiple piles. It just depends. I have friends that will watch all of them and then kind of take the ones that they like the most. So this is really up to you. But basically go ahead and do that. Pause the video and do that. And before we jump in, I do just want to say real quickly, I am open for readings again. I've been doing tarot readings, private readings basically. Currently, I only offer them on my Discord server, which is linked down below for you guys, but you can also eventually get them on my website. But I build my own website by myself in its entirety, and I have done it all by myself this entire time with having no prior experience to website design. So I'm trying to figure out how to work a shop page, and that's really what the holdup is. But eventually you guys will be able to order on my website, and I think that will be a lot more convenient for a lot of you. But yes, every day we have usually a different special going on. I will be offering something special for the month of October. It's not out yet, but by the time this goes up, it might be. So definitely check out the Discord down below. And it's just a fun community. It's where the Cozy Coven hangs out during the day. You can get the app on your phone. It's free. And yeah, it's just a good time. We talk a lot in there. So be sure that you join that, and let's go ahead and get into the readings. All right, my beautiful group number ones. The first thing I want to show you guys is this crystal. This is actually a blue, oh my gosh, what is this? It's a blue obsidian, sorry. It's a blue obsidian, and blue obsidian actually corresponds to the sign of Gemini. So it does help with mental clarity. And it also is a lot about astral travel. So especially as we're reaching into the darker half of the year, the veil is thinning. We have Samhain coming up, or Halloween. We have that coming up where the veil will be very thin. This might actually be a good time to get into astral travel and connecting with your ancestors. And this might be a crystal you want to pick up to assist in that. So I love that beautiful crystal. Now, the first card that we have for you, my beautiful pile number ones, is we actually see the Queen of Pentacles reversed. Now, the Queen of Pentacles, in my opinion, is somebody who she normally in an upward position. I mean, first of all, if you're a female Taurus or a male, doesn't necessarily matter. This very much indicates you or any earth sign, but Taurus specifically, I feel like really corresponds to the Queen of Pentacles. But this does represent you and kind of where you've been coming into this month. And granted, remember, this is a generalized reading, so there might be several messages that come through for several different people. But the Queen of Pentacles reversed in the upright typically is more of the nurturer. She's somebody who knows how to balance an at-home business as well as nurture her home and her loved ones, and she does it really well. So when we see this in a reversal, it could be either an overindulgence. There's maybe a lack of equilibrium, a lack of balance. Maybe you've been overspending, overindulging in the pleasures of life. Or there's also this other message that I'm getting that some of you guys are just not nurturing yourselves. You're doing for everyone around you, and you're leaving nothing left in your well for yourselves. And that is so destructive, especially, I mean, just in general. But I feel like a lot of you Tauruses picked pile number one, or maybe a Taurus rising. But if there have been, like, especially a Taurus, that's what I meant to say. Taurus, like, you are the lover of self-care and like being cozy. You and Libra know what's up. You're both ruled by Venus. So speaking specifically to my people that pulled pile number one that are Taurians or have strong Taurus energy, or maybe you're a cross watcher and this is for a Taurus in your life, you need to be upping your self-care. And that's a general for everyone as well, but especially Taurus, y'all are not going to be happy unless you're taking good care of yourself and just nurturing yourself, taking the time to take a bath, taking the time to pick yourself up some flowers, do something nice for yourself. The Queen of Pentacles to me also represents Venus to a degree, and we are in the season of Libra now, which is ruled by Venus. So we're in a very Venus centered time right now. So, this also to me could be very much beauty related, and you've come from a place where maybe you haven't been feeling or seeing that. So I feel like you guys haven't been keeping things balanced for yourselves, and you're feeling the effects. Now, I've also pulled 2 cards here to resemble potential blockages for you guys. And basically, these both came out reversed as well. We got the reversed child and reversed desire. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the reversed child first. The reversed child, there's 2 messages that come through with this. These are basically potential blockages. And so one blockage for you guys, some of you are so stuck in your childhood. You are so stuck in how you were treated by your parents, how you were treated by other kids, other friendships, other, things that happened in your childhood that were maybe extremely hurtful. You guys are so stuck there. And this is not me blaming you. This is not me telling you that those things are not real. I believe all of us have experienced childhood trauma in some way or another, regardless of how it went down. We've all experienced something, but some of you guys are stuck there. Some of you guys are allowing that part of your life to actually rule where you are now, and you're full of anger and bitterness because you feel like you weren't given enough as a child and you just want to scream at the world. This could also be that you're breaking down paradigms currently, or past ways of thinking, past ways of living, things that the entire world, I feel like we are going through a massive awakening, and this has played a very big role. So I get the sense that a lot of you guys that picked pile number 1 are also potentially light workers that are actually working to overcome your childhood trauma, but you felt stuck. This is also another message for you guys that's coming through, is some of you guys have just lost that childlike wonder in your eyes. And I feel like this goes very hand in hand with the Queen of Pentacles, because when you lose the childlike wonder that all of us have an inner child. And when you don't connect with that inner child, it's like the joy just gets sucked out of your life. So you're coming from this place where maybe you just don't feel joyful. Like, what is even the point anymore? Nothing feels joyful. Nothing feels fun. Nothing feels fulfilling. And a lot of you guys, we talked about this, I think, in one of my weekly polls recently. A lot of us are going through what in the spiritual community we call a dark night of the soul, where everything that you once derived joy from or loved or thought was a part of your future is being ripped away from you. And it's not because you've done something wrong. It's happening because you are meant to be so much more than where you currently were. So I feel like for you guys, a lot of you maybe have been throwing yourselves pity parties and tantrums about life instead of just letting go and kind of letting God or the universe or source or whatever it is that you believe. A lot of you have just been holding on to it with a death grip. Now, some of you guys with this desire card in the reverse have been comparing yourselves, comparing your lives to other people's lives, comparing your desires to others, not really desiring things because you actually desire them, but you've been desiring them because other people seem to have it all and you have nothing, or you feel like you have nothing. And I'm here to tell you right now, your guides, my guides, source, spirit, the universe wants you to know that hello, are you watching this on the internet right now? Do you have a car that you drive to work every day? Do you have a house? Do you have food on your table? Do you have somebody, even if it's just one person that loves you? Then trust me, you have a lot. So I feel like there is this level of comparison, and that's actually what has got you guys so down and in your feelings, is you see these little snippets of other people's lives online and they seem to have it together and have all this money and have everything that you want for your life, when in reality, they are probably struggling just as hard. So I feel like that's where you guys are coming from. Now, I have some really good news for you guys, because what you guys have to look forward to for this month, we have the moon reversed and we have Aries reversed. Now, The moon reverse tells me that anything you guys have been struggling with is going to come to light. This is the month where you guys are finally going to get answers. You're finally going to have breakthroughs. If you've been unemployed, you're going to get employment. If you've been needing money to pay your bills, you're going to get the money to pay your bills. If you have been looking for a partner, in particular, a love interest, this is the month that you are going to find that love interest and you guys are going to connect. If there's anything that you have really truly felt a lack of in your life, and not at a level of comparison, I also want to touch back on that. There's another message that I missed there. I'm sorry. Spirit is like, whoa, slow down. But with desire, please have an honest, frank conversation with yourself and ask yourself why you desire certain things. It will help you uncover what you actually feel like is missing from your life. So if there's something that you feel like has been out of whack, this is the month that it's finally going to come full circle. And I love this for you guys in particular, because as we're moving into October now, I know some of you don't live in the same hemisphere, but a lot of us, at least in my audience, in my statistics, a lot of us are experiencing autumn right now and fall. And the beautiful thing about this is the colors of the chakras, the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus correspond to all the beautiful colors of fall. So many of us are actually being extremely empowered and activated just by nature alone. So I feel like a lot of you guys are also going to be experiencing that. I also feel that some of you guys, if there's been any secrets or deception, this is kind of the flip side of this one. That's all going to come out. Whether you have put out deception or somebody else has, the truth is going to come out. But I don't want you guys to be afraid of this, because if it is you, the truth will set you free. And if it's not you, the truth will still set you free. Libra is the season of balance, justice, karmic justice, and equilibrium. So it's, of course, secrets and things that maybe have been happening on the underside of things are going to come out. And now having Aries reversed, Aries is normally a sign that is extremely, I don't want to say self-centered, because I feel like that is such a garbage way to describe an Aries person. Like, yes, they tend to be a little more driven by ego, but not all the time. And I feel like Aries honestly gets a bad rap. But I feel like you guys, with Aries being reversed, you may actually find that you are balancing things out. There's just a healthy balance of ego, but heart at the same time. There's a healthy balance of what you've been experiencing. Look at this moon card. She actually has like two flames like this, like it's balanced. To me, that's almost a Libra card. But with Aries, I feel like you're not going to be as focused on self, or the parts of you that you've been focusing on yourself are going to basically, like, any of the not great parts that you've been focused on, like anywhere that you've not been taking care of yourself, anywhere that you have maybe put too much emphasis on, like, ooh, I have to have the perfect body, or I have to have this, and this. You're going to kind of let those, like, limiting beliefs of self fall away, so that the parts of you that are actually you can emerge. I really feel like a lot of you guys are going to be emerging. I mean, look at this guy. He is emerging from the ashes, right? From the fire, from the ashes. You are literally the phoenix rising. So I feel like this is a really powerful time for those of you that chose group 1 in particular. I mean, I haven't done any of the other groups yet, but I feel like it's going to be just a really, really, really powerful time for you guys. And I honestly freaking love that for you guys. Another thing with the sign of Aries is, I feel like, honestly, I feel like you guys are going to be putting yourselves first, because Aries is also the first sign in the zodiac. And so I feel like a lot of you guys are going to be putting yourselves first. And I feel like that's really important for those of you that haven't been taking care of yourselves with that Queen of Pentacles. You know, I feel like it's just going to be a really good time of activation, I guess you could say, and like alignment. And goodness gracious, right when I said that, speaking of alignment, another thing you guys have to look forward to this month is aligning your life. What is not aligned or needs to change? So you guys are actually going to have that revealed to you with this moon card, the parts of your life that are just not in alignment with you, with that comparison that you've been going through, the trauma that maybe you have experienced from childhood. You are going to actually be standing in your own power, calling your power back in its entirety. In light work, I believe, is where this comes from. It's not like a book, but like light workers in general. There is this like Teal Swan also talks about it a little bit if you guys are familiar with her. She talks about fragmentation, and fragmentation is something that happens to all of us when we are kind of forced to split ourselves apart to fit in with the pack, because part of human nature is actually being part of a tribe. It comes to us from our ancestors. That's how they survived, right? Was having a tribe. So there's like parts of you to fit into that tribe that you will just fragment out. And a lot of times it does come from our parents. And that's, I think, very symbolic of the child up here. But you're going to be calling those parts of yourself back. And honestly, many of you guys have learned who the world wants you to be. And this month is going to be about learning who you want to be in the world instead of it being the other way around. So like I said, for those of you also experiencing autumn, please make sure that you're getting some time outside. I think that's going to be really important for you guys to get that root, sacral, and solar plexus activation. Now, the next thing I have for you guys is a message going forward. We see the Page of Wands and the Knight of Cups. So I love this. This is so beautiful. I feel like this month, you guys, you are going to want to focus intention, especially if you're into like law of attraction, manifestation. You are going to want to focus your intentions on the future. We look at this Page of Wands here, and the page isn't necessarily out there taking action, right? That's more of a knight's job, which we'll get to that. But he's just kind of looking toward the future, towards where he wants to go in life. And he's just stopping for a moment to pause and say, hey, what is it that I want out of life? And I feel like you're being asked to take that question very seriously this month. And not just what do I want next month? It's like, what do I want for my life? And from there, with the Knight of Cups, you guys are going to take inspired action from those ideas. So I feel like this is going to be a deeply creative time for you guys, a deeply activated time for you guys, a beautiful time for manifestation. The Knight of Cups to me is somebody who resembles going forth with intuition and manifestation on the mind. So I feel like for you guys, this is going to be a powerful month where you may not necessarily see your manifestations come all the way into fruition. Some of you will, but I do feel like a lot of you guys are going to just be on the path to making those things a reality, taking the inspired action, and just doing the damn thing, just going for it. Now, I'm doing something a little bit different with the end of these. Sorry if you guys can hear my book. I am reading this part from a book because I cannot remember all of these. I'm not that gifted, not yet. But I wanted to leave you guys in closing on your readings with a spirit animal for the month for you. So basically, just if you see the symbol somewhere, this is just a symbol that's meant to guide you this month. So I'm going to go ahead and actually be reading from the Llewellyn's Little Book of Spirit Animals. It's a wonderful book, a great collection to anyone who is into spirituality. It's like a great little book to have. It's really cheap. You can get it on Amazon. But I pulled for you guys the wolf. So I'm going to go ahead in closing for you guys, read this to you. So we have the wolf, element, earth and water, primary colors, black, brown, gray, and red. Wolf symbolizes wildness, independence, a courageous nature, solitude, loyalty, a pack frame of mind, sense of community, a curious nature, and strong will. Social, affectionate, and always finding time for fun. Wolf empowers you to embrace calm wildness within yourself. When wolf appears, Positivity is coming your way in the form of new prospects. Make sure you trust in yourself and have a high sense of clarity and integrity so that you can pursue the new opportunities when they show up. This is exactly what I was talking about. Be sincere in your dealings with loved ones. You tend to avoid confrontations whenever possible, but will fight to defend those you love. It's time to let go of that which no longer serves you, both in your personal life, work environment, and spiritually. You are very passionate, have a defined sense of social order, but can be shy with others outside of your immediate circle. If you're feeling like a lone wolf, isolated from the rest of the pack, now is the time to let go of past grievances and clear up any misunderstandings in order to regain the closeness of the group. So that is all I have for you, group ones. Thank you so much for listening in. Let me know how it resonated down below. And if you would like to book a personal tarot reading with me, you can do so on my Discord. A link is down below. And I hope you guys have a wonderful October. I'll see you again real soon. Bye. Hey there, group 2. Let's go ahead and get into your reading. First up, if you pick group 2, you actually picked a piece of rose quartz. Rose quartz is among my favorite crystals. This one is actually all about heart chakra activation. It promotes self-love, self-acceptance, and just love in the home in general. I have pieces of this everywhere in my house. If you also are having trouble sleeping or insomnia, please, for the love of God, do not use amethyst. A lot of people say to use that for sweet dreams. I actually find that it activates the third eye and it causes dreams that are even crazier than normal. So definitely do rose quartz for sleep. In my humble opinion, I just think it works better. So you may, if you felt pulled to this group, want to pick yourself up a piece of rose quartz. So let's go ahead and jump into your reading. So this past month, the card that represents you as we're coming into October, we actually have the Ace of Cups. I feel like a lot of you guys have been feeling very emotional, and remember, this is a group reading or a generalized group reading, so there might be multiple messages that come through. But you guys maybe have been feeling extremely emotional, like your emotions are all over the place. And some of you guys have actually been really happy and feeling like your cup is completely full and you are so full of love and light and gratitude coming into this month that you just like can't wait to share with others. So that's either a one way or another for you guys. Now, a couple of potential blockages that you guys have been experiencing. We have the Ace of Fire, and we also have the King of Fire. So this is why I was saying maybe some of you guys have been experiencing a lot of emotional upset, is because the King of Fire normally would represent, if we weren't dealing with a blockage, normally would represent somebody who is like a true visionary of his or her life, or their life rather. But in this instance with a blockage, this is somebody who doesn't really feel powerful or in their power. The King of Fire often really speaks of consequences of arrogance or aggressiveness as well. Like maybe you've lashed out because you've been so emotional. And in order to overcome this, it's like, you kind of have to put aside your feelings of always needing to be right or feeling like you're always right. And I don't even want to say agree to disagree, because I think that can be a really toxic environment to be in as well, but come to like conscious conclusions with others. I feel like you guys maybe have been stirring up quite a ruckus. So maybe that's why you need that rose quartz, right? That, oh, you guys can't see it because there's a candle in the way, but that inner love, let's move that off to the side. That inner self-love, right? And it's also about keeping your temper in check. Maybe you guys have, again, just been really flaring up your temper with others. This card also represents the sign of Leo, so you may find that you are a Leo or a Leo rising or have major Leo energy. Now, another blockage that I'm seeing for you guys with the Ace of Fire is you actually feeling extremely uncertain about your future. The Ace of Fire is normally something that's like a very beautiful new beginning for you, but you guys are so uncertain of where your future and path ahead is going that it's causing you to make like no decision. You're racked with indecision, with uncertainty. Maybe you feel like you have so much to do in your life that you just do the opposite. You end up laying on the couch and taking a nap because you're just so overwhelmed. To help you guys get past the blockages, honestly, it's best for you guys to focus on clarifying your objectives. Like basically don't put too much on your plate every single day. Take it really easy. This could also help you get your anger in check if you feel like you're pissed off all the time. Taking more time to kind of be quiet, meditate with yourself, ask yourself the important questions as to why you've been feeling a certain way or why you allow yourself to get so upset over trivial things that, to be quite frank, just like don't really matter. I feel like the things that you've been getting upset about are just like small little things. Now, things that you have to look forward to this month. Oh, I love this for you guys. We see Jupiter. Actually, let's put this one out here. We see Jupiter and we see Pluto. Oh, I love this. Okay, so Jupiter, if you guys didn't know, recently went direct. I believe Jupiter went direct in, I'm not sure if it was like the middle of August or the beginning of September, but Jupiter just recently went direct. And Jupiter, if you guys didn't know, is the ruler of Sagittarius, positivity, optimism, the ruler of expansion, of gifts as well. In a lot of ways, I feel like Jupiter is like almost like in terms of gifts from Jupiter, I feel like the gifts we receive from Jupiter just tend to be like over the top. Like they tend to be the things that just like miraculously happen that you're like, how in the hell did that even work out? But it totally did. So I feel like you guys have potentially windfall coming in. This could also be about a spiritual up-leveling. I do feel like Jupiter is a planet that deals with psychic ability and psychic up-leveling. So some of you guys, if you really do the work and overcome these blockages by listening to yourself, by getting quiet and still in meditation in particular, I feel like a lot of you guys will experience a lot of psychic level upgrades and potentially a big windfall will be coming your way this month. Now, Pluto, I was really excited about because we actually have Pluto going direct this month. And Pluto and Saturn have been just like holding hands in retrograde forever. I don't actually know how long it's been. Saturn went direct this past month, but Pluto going direct is going to be just such a beautiful, gorgeous time for just, I want to say like expansion to a degree, because Pluto rules over the sign of Pisces. I believe I'm correct on that. Pluto rules over the sign of Pisces, and Pisces, I feel like, is very like dreamy. Or is it Neptune that rules over Pisces? I want to say that it's Pluto, but like since Pluto doesn't count as a planet anymore, like things got kind of crazy. I still count Pluto as a planet because I'm 100% that bitch. But that's kind of beside the point. But with Pluto going direct, I feel like a lot of the stuff that you've been trying to manifest is actually going to start coming to light. It's actually a really good time for you guys to up-level your manifestations, to open your mind to that like dreamy-like state and accept that anything is possible, because I really feel like big gifts are coming for you guys this month, whether they be financial. I'm really seeing financial abundance as well as spiritual up-level. Both of these planets, I feel like, are extremely spiritual as well. I mean, the sign of Pisces tends to be a little bit more naturally psychic and gifted as well. So because we're dealing with both of those energies, it's like you guys are getting almost like logic increase as well as spiritual increase. Like I'm seeing a lot of like mental and spiritual activity and gifts for you guys. This might be the month that you guys actually feel like you get activated, so to speak. And the next thing that I'm seeing for you guys is also the Sisterhood of the Rose, which is beauty and devotion, priestess, mystic, and teacher. Okay, this falls extremely in line with these two cards as well, because Jupiter ruling over Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the philosopher, the teacher, the knowledge bringer, the logic bringer. And then spirituality speaking, I feel like Pluto really brings in a huge burst of spirituality. So honestly, I feel like you guys are either going to have somebody come into your life this month that is going to be like a teacher for you, that's going to help up-level you in some way, or you are actually going to start to become the teacher. You're on your path to self-mastery, and you're just going to, this is also like a soul tribe card to me as well, the sisterhood of the rose, because it talks about like a gathering as well. You know, it's not just like a one, I hope I'm making sense. It's not just like a one-off. It's a gathering. It's a sisterhood. So this could also be the month that you guys find those friends that are super in alignment with you, which I think is always beautiful, because I think a lot of, especially like conscious beings or people that have woken up or are waking up, I feel like a lot of very conscious beings feel very alone. So I feel like this is going to be a time where you are actually going to feel less alone. Now, some messages going forward. We actually have the Sun for you guys. Oh, I love that. And we also have the Four of Cups. Okay. So with the Sun coming out this month, that is like a bright beam of positivity. We also have these little sunflowers in the back. Those are definitely part of the fall harvest. And like, honestly, things are just going to be joyous again. Things are going to make sense again. Things are going to be beautiful. The world will be full of light for you again, especially if you've been really stuck in your emotions. I feel like you guys are finally going to bloom again in the month of October. It's going to be such like a beautiful opening time for you. And the Four of Cups to me, is like, there's a couple messages coming through. Number one, a gift from the universe is being extended, which right over top of Jupiter, I mean, that makes a lot of good sense to me. And you need to make sure that you're in the right mind frame to receive it, because if you can't see beyond your anger and you can't see beyond uncertainty and just allow yourself to kind of be still, you're going to miss those gifts that are being offered to you. So be careful this month about that, because there's a lot that is coming your way, especially with the Sun card. That's like one of the most positive cards you can receive in the tarot, in my humble opinion. Now, some of you guys maybe will be blind to those gifts. Maybe some of you are not willing, like, the Four of Cups to me, it's almost like you get so stuck in your feelings and your emotions that like nothing feels good. Nothing feels good anymore. Nothing will satisfy you. And I feel like that's more of a cautionary tale of don't be like the Four of Cups. Don't put yourself in that kind of situation, because anything that you guys actually desire to bring into your life, you can feel the feelings of those desires literally right now to increase your vibration and bring those manifestations in. Oh, we had a little wax tumble. But I feel like this is almost more of a warning. So just be careful with that. And lastly, for you guys, I do have something that I'm actually going to read from a book, because I do not have all of these memorized, but I just felt really called to do these. But this is actually a spirit animal or an animal totem for you guys. I pulled one for every reading, and basically, if you see this symbol anywhere, or maybe you live next to some, maybe it's your favorite animal, this is going to be just a significant message for you guys from Spirit. So you guys got the turkey, which I thought was really funny. I mean, I know, even though I don't condone necessarily eating turkey because I don't eat meat, you know, I find it funny though, because going into the fall months, especially anybody in the US, there's like Thanksgiving and stuff, and there's usually a lot of turkeys, things like that. I'm currently looking for the turkey right now in my book, so apologies, give me just a moment to find it. There we go, turkey. Okay, so the turkey, the element for turkey is earth, primary colors black, brown, white, and red and blue on its neck. The turkey symbolizes sacrifice, abundance, and prosperity. When turkey appears, it means you're about to reap rewards of some kind. So what was I talking about? Rewards. Turkey isn't only about receiving monetary wealth for good things you do, but to receive both intellectual and spiritual reward. Literally, what the hell was I just talking about? I swear to you guys, I shuffle these. Turkey means you give from the heart and go out of your way to help others. Turkey is connected to the spiritual realm and the knowledge that all life is connected and sacred. You give and work with others not out of a sense of you'll receive in return, but because you feel it is the right thing for you to do on your spiritual path. Turkey also means to honor yourself and the gifts you receive from others, whether it is an emotional support or assistance with your own spiritual awakening. Spiritually, Turkey means you have risen above indulgence, doing things for yourself, and have moved into a higher frequency where you acknowledge and strive toward universal oneness. At this level, Turkey gives you feelings of contentment and satisfaction as you live in harmony with all that is. So, beautiful message. I hope you guys got something out of this message for yourselves. Thank you so very much for listening. Please do not forget, you guys can book me for personal tarot readings down below. The Discord link will be there. I also have my Instagram, my Twitter. I put up daily affirmations on Twitter as well as inspirational posts on Instagram. So please make sure you're following. I'm planning to do some templates for you guys on Instagram, potentially this week, but something I'm going to be working on. So I hope you guys will follow me over there, and I will see you guys in a future video. Bye. Hello, my beautiful pile number 3s. If you guys picked pile number 3, this crystal, it's really hard to see in this lighting. Definitely look up pictures of this crystal. This is a green gold stone, and it's actually extremely pretty. Like, it has little glitter flecks in it. It's like gorgeous in person. I know it probably just looks black on camera, but it's like a deep dark green, and it has a bunch of sparkles in it. But green goldstone is actually, to me, it reminds me a lot of citrine in the sense that it is a crystal that brings about abundance to your life, especially in a prosperity, like financial way. So if you've been looking to attract abundance, this might be a good one for you to keep in your purse, keep on your person, or keep at your altar. Green goldstone. And let's go ahead and jump into this reading. So right off the bat, you're coming into this month as maybe an 8 of Wands. Now, the 8 of Wands talks a lot about really fast, rapid movement. It also talks a lot about opportunities, you having multiple opportunities to choose from and having to sift through them. This is actually potentially a really busy time for you. And especially if, like, let's say, for instance, like at the end of every month, you guys have to finish something for the entire month, or maybe you're working on a major project and it's about to be due. I feel like a lot of you guys feel like you're, for lack of a better term here, you're like running around like a chicken with your head cut off. You just have a lot going on. There's a lot of fast, active movement. Maybe something new was dropped into your lap at the wrong time. And so you guys are having to now decide which opportunities you're going to accept and which you're going to let fall by the wayside, because there isn't necessarily enough of you to go around. Now, I do actually look at this card as more of a positive card, the 8 of Wands. I would just say use your discernment when you are deciding how you're going to spend your time, because this has the potential to backfire if you do not spend your time wisely. Now, a couple of blockages that you may be coming into this month with. Now, remember, this is a generalized reading, so there might be a few different messages that come through, but a couple of blockages that I am actually seeing for you guys is we have the 10 of Air and the Queen of Air. Now, the 10 of Air actually talks about letting other people's opinions shape you in terms of a blockage. It's like you aren't being your most true, authentic self, and you're allowing yourself to be put down and degraded by those around you, instead of saying, no, this is actually how it is, and your opinion doesn't matter. Now, here's something that I really feel called to share in this instance. If you feel like you're somebody who's really affected by other people's opinions of you, I want you to ask yourself how valid their opinion actually is. And what I mean by that is, think of somebody that has really hurt your feelings, whether this be a friend or a family member or a spouse or whoever. Think of somebody that has really hurt your feelings, and they have just, every time you're around them, they just drain you of your energy. Now ask yourself, why do you value their opinion? If their opinion, especially if their opinion doesn't align with how they actually talk, because more often than not, or their opinion doesn't align with their own actions. Like, for example, In my own life, when I first went vegan, I got judged intensely by one of my family members, was just beat down into the ground over it. And the interesting effect to that was I was in tears. I felt so destroyed over this. I just wanted to be supported. I thought I was doing a good thing for my body and for the environment. And instead of me saying, you know what? Look at the way they choose to live their life. Look at how they treat the planet, how negative their mindset always is about life and how unhappy they are. Instead of looking at that and saying, actually, their opinion has no validity because they're just a really unhappy person. And granted, that's not necessarily their fault. Like, I think I need to remember and kind of backtrack here that we're all conditioned to be and behave a certain way until we've realized it and are ready to change it. And a lot of times the people who are bleeding their opinions onto you, of you, that's actually how they think about themselves or how they think the world works, and how, like, their instance of you, like, they're not in your body, they're not in your mind, they're not in your heart. They can't see your intention. They can't see the way that you think. So their opinion of you does not matter. And especially if there's someone who their actions speak louder than their words. So just remember that if you're feeling really low, the way that people have been talking to you. Now, another blockage with the Queen of Air, this one actually speaks more to arrogance, that maybe you have been treating everybody like you're above them, like you're smarter than them, you know better than them. Or this could be somebody that's influencing you as well, that thinks they know better or that they're smarter than you, when in reality, we are all one. We are all reflecting parts of each other off of each other. And that can go into like a 25-minute plus hours discussion of how we are all one. And I'm not going to get into that right now because that's a whole other topic for a whole other time. But in terms of this time-space reality, everybody is technically reflecting parts of you. And we only take people's opinions to heart when it's a part of us that believes it a little bit. Like, maybe we've been conditioned to believe it about ourselves or what have you. But I feel like there's a separation, and maybe like you feel like you are being separated from the pack because of these things. So I'm getting the sense that, like, even though you have like a bunch of cool things maybe coming into your life, that emotionally maybe you're not even in a place to be excited about it, because you kind of have these two blockage cards that are saying there's just kind of a lot of stuff happening under the surface for you. Now, what you guys actually have to look forward to this month, now that we've kind of trudged through all the bullshit, we have Saturn, and then we have the Pisces card. And actually, these cards don't have reversal meanings. I've realized the first couple readings I did in this, I mean, you can give them reversal meanings. Maybe I should keep it steady. Normally I wouldn't read reversals for these, but in the first reading in this group, I believe, Aries came out reversed, and I felt very compelled to read it reversed. So I don't know. I also feel like you kind of get both meanings in every card to a degree, but these cards technically don't have reversal meanings. But they can. So let's just listen to what Spirit has to offer us. So first and foremost, with Saturn. Saturn just went direct, I believe last month in September, we had Saturn go direct. And with Saturn going direct, Saturn is the planet that rules over Capricorn. Capricorn is, I always say, mean, stern dad of the zodiac, because they kind of like get shit done, and they are the people that have, like, I don't want to say order, because Virgo, I feel like, is really the ones who are like order. And then you also have Libra that's kind of like balancing order as well, but order in a sense that, like, they represent like the divine masculine aspect of things versus the divine feminine. I also feel like Capricorn, they work hard. They are very like career minded, achievement minded, goal minded. I feel like in October, you guys are going to see certain goals that you've been trying to accomplish for a long time manifest. I also feel like with Saturn going direct, blessings will be dropped upon you, because I feel like Saturn kind of withholds those things in a retrograde phase, but then when direct happens, same with Jupiter direct as well, I feel like those blessings are just showered. So I do feel like with Saturn here, you guys are going to see some major manifestation come true. I don't feel like it's going to be something that's just tiny. I feel like it's something you guys have wanted for a long time, maybe even since the beginning of the Saturn retrograde. And then with Pisces over here, Pisces is our very intuitive sign. Pisces, they are also very like dreamy and romantic. And you know what? I'm glad that I kept this reversed, because the message that's coming through is that I actually feel like you guys are going to be putting in the work, and you're going to be like, not that you can't have big hopes, big dreams, and like be in an era of romanticism, because we're in Libra season. It's a very romantic time. Being in Libra season with a reverse Pisces card, I'm getting the message that we are actually going to be you're going to be taking the action. You're going to be taking the inspired action, especially if this is a career thing. If you've been looking to up-level your career, you've already put all the intentions in place, and you're going to be using these dreams, these big goals, these big plans that you have already set into motion, and you're actually going to be taking the inspired action this month, and you're going to reap the rewards from it. Especially after going through all of these emotional blockages. I feel like also having Saturn here is you kind of putting those emotional blockages aside and just being like, you know what? It's time to do the damn thing. I don't have time to sit here and be all hurt and upset and in my feelings. I only have time to take action on all this stuff. So it's going to be a very fast-paced month for you guys. And the next thing you guys really have to look forward to this month is Keepers of the Earth. Now, this card I really do love, because this card actually represents you guys having helpers in other realms in terms of spirituality. We are coming into Samhain this month, or Halloween, and this is a time when the veil between our world and the afterworld, or the other worlds or other realms, is actually very thin. And so you guys actually have helpers in subtle realms, and all you need to do is open yourself up to the assistance. You could literally say it out loud. I am open to the assistance from the Keepers of the Earth. You are going to see your manifestations come about in the material world with all of the hard work you've done. Call upon this. Open yourself up to have divine help, because again, I feel like you guys have been feeling very separated from the pack. And I want you guys to know that you're not alone. Spirit wants you guys to know that you're not alone, and you do have Keepers of the Earth around you. And I know that could sound really like, ooh, and out there, but I mean, if you're on my channel, you kind of had to be here for some of that stuff, because that's my personality, and that is definitely where I'm at. And I do set intentions with these readings that the people that like need the messages will find them. So I do feel like you guys are going to be calling in your ancestors, your spirit guides, and also just anybody that wants to work with you on your path, especially if you're into doing like ancestral work, or you celebrate Dia de los Muertos or Samhain, or there's another holiday that revolves around like ancestor work, and it's right around the same time, and I can't remember what it's called. I'm really sorry. There's probably a lot of cultures that celebrate. I don't know them all, unfortunately, but I feel like this is going to be a valuable time for you guys to connect, especially if you've been trying to make a spirit guide connection as well, and you've been struggling with that. I feel like this is the month your spirit guides are going to introduce themselves to you, and you are going to become more familiar. Now, something else, we have some messages going forward. We have the High Priestess, and we have the Five of Cups. Oh, I love this, you guys. Okay, so with exactly what I was saying with the High Priestess here, what we are currently working on is our intuition, right? You guys have really strong intuition, and that's something you guys have to look forward to this month. Your strong intuition. And I mean, the High Priestess also, I feel like she has the power to make anything happen. So if there's any manifestation that you have been trying to call in, this is a really powerful month for you to actually bring it in. The High Priestess also, this is very symbolic of the time of year. The High Priestess also sits between the veil of the afterworld and our world. So you can actually be the interpreter or the communicator between those worlds. If you're interested in tarot, astrology, communicating with your ancestors, hosting a seance, doing anything that is going to be that kind of like deep shadow work as well, on yourself. Any of that is going to be very achievable for you this month, and you're going to be able to work through it with a really clear mind. So if that's something you've been wanting to open yourself up to, it's a good time. And with this 5 of Cups, the message that I'm actually getting, most people don't really like this card, but I feel like based on the blockages that you guys have come into with this month, this is actually more about this bridge back here. Because normally the 5 of Cups is about like not seeing all the beauty around you and you're focused on what you don't have. But I actually think this is more about you guys building a bridge and getting over it. This is more about you guys like literally building this, like there's a bridge back here, building a bridge and getting over it. And this is you guys coming into a time of your life of more self-acceptance and not really listening to what other people have to say about you. And lastly, my beautiful pile 3s, this I felt very called to do for these readings. Now, I don't know all of these by heart, so I am going to be reading from a book for you guys, but this is this is a spirit guide totem, excuse me. So if you guys see this symbol in your dreams, if you see it while you're out and about, if it's a symbol that maybe you just feel really called to in general, this is going to be an important symbol for you guys this month. So if you see it somewhere, pay attention. You guys got the snake. So I'm also going to be reading from Llewellyn's Little Book of Spirit Animals. And so let me go ahead and just pull up the snake really quick. I feel like I already know somewhat of what it's going to say because I have actually had dreams about snakes recently and it was kind of crazy. But so the snake or the viper, this corresponds to the element of air, earth, and water. Primary colors, black, green, yellow, orange, or any color or any combination of colors. Wow. Snake symbolizes, yep, I knew it. Okay, snake symbolizes transformation, awakening of creative forces, and connection to higher consciousness. It's that high priestess. When snake appears, it means you're coming into a time of extreme spiritual growth and you'll become more connected to the energy of the universe. You will experience a surge in all areas of your life during the period of spiritual growth. Your intuition will become more accurate, your dreams may become prophetic, and you'll know more than ever before. Snake indicates that you'll be offered new opportunities, you'll become more ambitious, and Saturn, and opportunities with this 8 for sure. You'll experience a metamorphosis at every turn. Snake is your protector as you grow and change. Snake's eyes are always open and protected by an opaque scale, which means that during this phase of your life, you will see more than you ever expected to see. With this sight comes an internal understanding without explanation. You just know things without being told. You're alert to everything happening around you, and you are embracing the surge in spirituality that you're experiencing. So I feel like this is very symbolic of this high priestess. So this is going to be a really expansive time for you. I feel like the messages have all been slightly similar so far, that a lot of you guys are just going through like super expansiveness of the consciousness right now. But I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Please do not forget, if you would like to book a private reading with me, my readings are now open. You can go to my Discord to grab one. Eventually you'll be able to get them on my website, but I'm working out how to set up a shop page right now because I'm doing it all on my own. And then the other thing is, please don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I put out new affirmations every day on Twitter, and I do inspirational posts on Instagram every single day. So if you need more of that in your life, please make sure you follow. I'm at Cozy Kale, and I'll see you guys in a future video. Bye. All right, my pile number 3s, welcome in. First and foremost, if you chose pile number 3, you may want to consider getting yourself some tiger's eye. This crystal is actually used as a grounding stone if you feel like you've been kind of just all over the place. It also is a really good crystal for protection. So if you feel like you need extra protection, black tourmaline and black obsidian are also really good crystals, but tiger's eye, I feel like looks cooler than those ones, if I'm honest with you, and it's just great for protection. So, if you felt called to pile number 4, you may want to get yourself some of that. So first and foremost, where you are right now, or a card that represents what you're coming into with this month. So we got the Emperor. So you may actually find that you are in Aries, or you have major Aries energy. You also are somebody who There's so many things this could be, actually. Sorry, like 8 messages just tried to come in at once. It may be that you're starting a new business or starting a new foundation. For those of you that are Tauruses, I know I speak a lot to Taurus, but it might be because I'm a Taurus, so I know a lot about Taurus. But if you are a Taurus, we do have Uranus in the sign of Taurus kind of shaking things up right now. So you may find that you actually are going into new prospects. And you may have also found yourself in a new leadership position at work. There's also a potential that you are going to be a father. If you have that one, I feel like is only a message for a couple of people becoming a father. That one didn't come in quite as strongly. But maybe you are somebody who is becoming a father, or you just found out that news hit, or a grandfather even. I'm also getting the message that maybe you are just starting to take more of a leadership role in your own life. You're kind of putting aside other people's ideals about you, and you're saying, nope, actually, this is how it is. I'm going to do me, you do you, peace. So I actually feel like this is a really good card of standing in your own self-confidence and standing in your own power. So this might be something that's newly surfacing for you this month. I feel like, gosh, if I were going to pick a pile, this is the one that represents me so far. I actually didn't pick a pile. Usually I do before I start, but maybe this is the one. But starting new business endeavors in particular, or this could also be if you guys are in school, maybe you're basing yourself in a new direction that you didn't think you were going to. This could also be, honestly, I just feel like I'm really getting you standing in your own confidence, your own power, and taking on new roles in life. So good for you guys. Round of applause. I also see as potential blockages for you guys. We see the 7 of Water and the Essential. Now, as for blockages, the essential is actually, I feel like this could go hand in hand if you're not careful, especially during Libra season. But a blockage that you may be coming into is, or that you're trying to release this month rather, because you've been dealing with it, is there's potential that you have kind of acted in poor faith, or just not really put the right intentions out there, or you treated somebody poorly. And rest assured, karma is a bitch. And we are in Libra season, and Libra season is the season of karmic justice. So you will get yours. But if you've been acting in good faith, this is actually a really good omen that the things that you've been putting out are going to start coming back. The essential also represents you kind of going into your own direction. Like maybe you've come into this month realizing that you have been following somebody else's path a little bit too closely, instead of just going off into your own direction and making things your own. So there may be a blockage that you've been basing too many of your decisions off of somebody else's decisions, or a plan that they have put out for you, and you just need to go your own way. And with the 7 of Water, this is actually one of my personal favorite cards. I pick it a lot for myself. But the 7 of Water as a potential blockage, this is actually you potentially blocking manifestations from yourself, especially because the 7 of Water normally in a non-blockage state represents letting things flow like water, letting yourself flow like water, recognizing that anything that happens in your life, universally, cosmically, it is all divine, and everything is divinely timed. Even the things that feel horrible or feel like trials or feel like upsets, they're there for a reason to teach you. And if you let life go and you just kind of start to get into a flow state, instead of you just trying to control everything, you actually let so many more blessings come through. And so a blockage that I'm seeing for you guys, I talk about this a lot, is you are just putting a chokehold on the universe, and you're saying, this is the thing that I want in life. Maybe even being that really strong emperor. This is the thing that I want in life. This is the only way I can get it. And if you don't bring it to me in this specific way, then it's not going to happen. And I encourage you guys, if this is a mentality that you have, to release that mentality. Expect the unexpected. Expect things to come into your life that are, maybe they come in the craziest ways. When you tell the universe the only way you'll accept it is one way, it makes it that much harder for the universe to provide that for you or to give it to you. So open yourself up to all of the possibilities of how your manifestations can come true. And if you feel like you've maybe even been a little too controlling, which this could be the Emperor as well, if you feel like you've just been a little bit too controlling in life in general, maybe having too strict of a schedule, not allowing yourself to be a little bit more breezy, easy, go with the flow of life, you're cutting yourself off from so many possibilities. So just relax. I know with an Emperor pulling that upright, it can be hard to relax, but I encourage you guys to just relax. Now, the next things I'm seeing for you guys in terms of what is coming in for the month of October, we see Neptune and we see Virgo. So especially pulling an Emperor card, I do feel like the Virgo card and Emperor can kind of go hand in hand for coming into the month and then progressing this month. It'll be even better for you if you can let yourself kind of flow in that Emperor state. But Virgo actually asks you to change up your routines. Virgo is the sign of routines, also of giving to others and to yourself, and also health and service. So like personal health as well. So I feel like for the month of October, a lot of you guys are going to be switching up your routines, going into more of an autumn state of things. I'm somebody who is extremely Virgo aspected in my chart, even though I'm not a Virgo. And I can wholeheartedly tell you guys from that perspective, my routines change seasonally. I do things differently in the fall than I do in other times of the year. And October is probably my favorite month of the entire year. So it's time to kind of think outside the box and change up your routines in a way that you can allow them to flow instead of making them so bullet point, bullet point, bullet point, bullet point. I have to follow this strict schedule. So opening yourself up to that idea, but still like, it's almost like you have a plan, like you're planning for some really great things. But you need to be like very open to those, like they need to be loose plans. I hope that makes sense. And then with Neptune here, Neptune, I believe we actually still have Neptune retrograde going on, which, I mean, it's okay. The best way, and I've talked about this before in past readings, I don't know that we've ever used these cards in a reading, but Neptune in retrograde, the best way I know how to explain Neptune to you is like, think of your life like this beautiful, lush forest, especially over the Central, which is an earth guard, this beautiful, lush forest. And when Neptune is retrograde, it's like this heavy, thick fog has just washed over your entire forest and you can't really see the path forward. And I actually feel like because we pulled this out here, I feel like you guys are actually going to be starting to see a path through the fog. You guys are going to start to have a little more clarity because you're letting things flow and not holding so tightly to things. Neptune is also associated with water and salt water and earth. And I feel like with water and salt water, this is a very purifying time as well. I feel like you guys are going to be purified through the month of October, that if you've been acting in good faith, it's going to be a very purifying, beautiful time. And if you've been acting in bad faith with that Central card, you're going to be purified. I said this in somebody else's reading earlier, that the truth will set you free, or maybe it was this reading. I'm sorry. I'm a channel. I don't actually possess a gift. I say this all the time. I am just the channel. Half the time when I do readings, even for people, I can't even remember what I've said like 10 minutes later because I'm just the channel. So I do feel like there is like a purifying element to what's coming through in October for you. And I also feel like you are potentially going to be coming into some psychic experience with Neptune because it does kind of govern psychic ability a little bit, as well as upping your imagination and creativity. So I feel like if you haven't been making time in your life for creativity, October is going to be a time that you will. Some of you guys, I don't know if you guys are artists, but Inktober is a thing. If you guys are YouTubers, Youtober is a thing. A lot of people that are into the creative aspects of life. There's also Spooktober, I think, on Twitch. If you guys are Twitch streamers, I think there's also one for like photography as well. October seems to be like a really big creative month in general. for a lot of people. So I feel like this is going to be a time where you're going to reconnect with your creativity. And the more, again, that you let that schedule kind of flow, I feel like the more experience you'll have. And in the more experience you have, the more like, how do I even explain this? It's like, if you stay inside your house and you just kind of let things be so structured and rigorous and not let them kind of ooze out and do whatever they need to do. It's like you just stay home every single day. You see the same things, the same freaking four walls, you eat the same meal, and life is just like bland. I feel like October, if you can allow those restraints to kind of be let go of, you're going to go to different places. Not necessarily really far off travel or anything, at least not from what, none of the cards in my hand like represent travel either. Doesn't mean that you won't travel, but I don't feel like for a lot of you, it's not necessarily that. It's that like you are going to go outside and just like see different things in your area that are going to spark creativity. So beautiful energy for you guys. Another thing I see for you guys coming in October is we have trust the niggle. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? So I feel like a lot of people, especially as we move closer to Samhain, which is also Halloween, also known as, for some people, a couple days later, they also celebrate Dia de los Muertos right around the same time. It's actually a time when the veil between our world and the other world or the afterworld or whatever, the spirit realm, is thinner. And so I feel like a lot of us are actually going to be experiencing a psychic upgrade. A lot of the readings for this month have focused on that as well. As I've pulled every single group, we've had a lot of psychic upgrade coming in. And I feel like this is like you becoming your own oracle, trusting that niggle, trusting the little, like, it's almost like when your gut tells you something, you're actually going to be listening to it. And it's a message that like you need to listen to it. Get into listening to your intuition. This card also to me kind of represents the high priestess in a way, because we have these two walls on the sides, kind of like the two pillars in the high priestess. We have the high priestess in the middle, and then the two aspects of her with the eyes open and the eyes closed. So it's like the eyes open on one side is like the other world, and then the eyes closed is our world. So I feel like you guys are going to be going through some major transformational time spiritually, especially with Neptune coming out too. You guys have that to really look forward to, and for your intuition to just like be on fire. Like if you guys haven't been trusting your intuition lately, this is the month where you're going to get in touch with it, to start trusting your intuition. And it's a good time to start practicing a meditative state more often than not, so you can actually exercise your intuition. Now, some more things I see coming for you, or a message coming through for you for the month of October. I'm also seeing, again, with the creativity, we see the Queen of Wands, which the Queen of Wands is the most creative queen out of all of them in the tarot, in my opinion. She is somebody who is truly a inspirational leader. She also represents the sign of Leo. She has the sunflower back here, or in her hand, actually, excuse me, that to me actually represents the fall harvest. Whenever I see sunflowers is what I think of. And she is somebody that kind of like the high priestess. I feel like the high priestess and the Queen of Wands also kind of do get what they want. They set their intentions in a certain way and they do get what they want. So if you have been setting intentions, let them set them, but then let them flow and let them go, and rest assured that they will come. The inspired action will come. And with the Four of Swords, this is actually going to be a time where you're going to need to balance this work ethic and resting, because if you don't, you are going to burn out. I promise. Especially seeing an Emperor card and then a Four of Wands almost right away. You will burn out if you don't take your self-care very seriously, especially in the season of Libra. I mean, that is ruled by Venus, all about loving the self, taking care of the self. Make sure you're taking care of you. Also, when you get quiet and rest, it's better to express your intuition and to listen to it, to let yourself flow a little bit freer. So I'm really getting a big overarching message of balance and flow for you guys are the most important things, because we have balance coming out with Virgo here, in my opinion, like setting up those routines, but keeping them loose. and then letting things flow, like not making plans that are so tightly held. And man, you guys, I feel like just have a little bit of everything in your reading. Like, I feel like this reading is like all the previous 3 combined. Like, there's kind of a little bit of the aspects here in every single little part. You guys just have a lot going on. I mean, I should have expected nothing less with an Emperor as the significator, but I feel like you guys are going to need to balance the rest and routines. And then lastly, I did something kind of special for the readings this month where I'm actually reading these from a book because I do not know all of these by heart. So this is actually a spirit animal totem or a symbol that if you guys see a canary, which is the one you guys got, just pay attention to it. I don't know if in your area you have canaries, but they might show up on magazines, show up in books, show up on people's tattoos. Trust when you see the symbol of the canary that it means something for you. Now, I'm going to actually be reading what the canary is about to you guys. And you'll have to let me know in the comment section if that's actually something you want me to continue to do. Because again, it's something that I haven't been doing, but I think it's a cool concept. Do we not have canary in here? Sorry, I'm looking for it. I have this book, this Llewellyn's Little Book of Spirit Animals, and I'm looking for the canary in here, but I'm not seeing it. It could also just be under bird, I now realize. Sorry, it's taking me a second to find it. I guess I could be showing it to you. I don't like to go through and like super edit these videos, so I would rather just find it and then we'll move forward together. If not, there might just be one for bird that we'll read instead because, oh, I just saw it. Canary. Okay. So canary, we see this actually corresponds to the element of air and the colors green, red, and yellow. Canary symbolizes the power of song, speech, and creative expression. Canary means sound is important to you and a key connection to the spirit realm. Oh my gosh. See what I mean? So many people in this month actually got like psychic spirit realm stuff. Canary means sound is important to you and a key connection to the spirit realm. People enjoy hearing what you have to say because your sound energy touches them on a deep level and brings light to their lives. Canary means to convey more joy and happiness in your life by recognizing the power of your own voice. You speak up for yourself and sing your own song instead of replacing the songs of replicating the songs of others, which makes you a unique personality. You are filled with light and joy, and it's time to share your song with the world. Canary means you may help someone on their spiritual journey to teach them how to develop their intuitive abilities. Creative expression with song is your strength. You may excel in sound healing and song therapy to raise your consciousness and connect to spirit. Words are powerful, precise, and if used as a weapon, can cut as deep as a knife. It is your responsibility as a light being to ensure your words are spoken clearly with precision to lift others up, encourage, and enlighten. So, yes, I love that for you guys. So if you guys see canaries or hear them or it's going to be an important message for you guys, or, just pay attention to those things when you see it. And anyways, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this reading. Thank you so very much for coming and listening in. I really appreciate it. Please make sure if you would like to book a personal private reading with me, there's a link to my Discord down below. You will eventually be able to shop on my website, but I'm still working to get the shop page up and running. Hopefully that will be easier for you guys in the future. And please don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. On Instagram, I put up daily inspirational messages with photos that I have a background in photography, so I think it's pretty good. And over on Twitter, I put out daily affirmation posts. So if you feel like you need those little uplifting messages in your life, please do follow. I'm at Cozy Kale, and I will see you guys in a future video. Bye.